As you know, Halloween is around the corner. So in today's video, I am going to tell you 5 horror movies that you need to see for Halloween 2020. If that sounds interesting, let's go. Hello everyone, I am your lifestyle buddy Pratik Chitre and welcome to my YouTube channel. A quick thank you to my subscribers for their constant love and support. And all my horror movie lovers, this list consists of movies from 2018 to 2020, which is recent. And I'm sure you must have missed most of these films. So let's get started with the list. The Lodge. The Lodge starts with 2 kids, Aiden and Mia, who are still trying to recover from their parents' divorce, which ends in a shocking tragedy. To make matters worse, their father is engaged to a woman called Grace and wants them to spend time together and accept her as the new mother, which naturally they reject at the start. And when they come to know about Grace's past, they get even more fearful of her and reject her even more. But the father doesn't give up. The father forces the kids to spend holidays in their usual mountain hideaway with Grace. And things get out of control when Grace is left alone with the kids in this lodge. The Lodge is not a typical haunted house movie. It deals with a lot of emotional issues, a lot of trauma that happens to the kids and Grace. But what is surprising and what is intriguing is the background music. The cinematography is also bang on, and it's not a jump scare film where you have haunted faces or anything like that, but the background music and the chills will keep you hooked. Grace and the kids have done a really good job. At times you don't understand who's the more sinister, the kids or Grace. The movie lags a bit in the middle, but the ending makes up for it because it's a very unexpected ending. I was really taken aback when I saw the end and I was like, whoa, what's happening? So this movie is streaming on Amazon Prime. Go watch it. Ghost Stories starts with a professor who's been debunking psychic frauds for his entire life. Naturally, he doesn't believe in the supernatural. One day, he gets a call from his role model showing him 3 unexplainable cases that challenges the existence of supernatural entities. The professor gets excited to show these 3 cases which are supposed to be unexplainable. He takes it as a challenge to show to his role model that these 3 cases will be natural. These 3 unexplainable cases are basically like 3 short films. And these 3 stories are different and are good enough to keep you hooked for the entire period. The 4th story, which forms the climax of the film, is however predictable, and it's done before in movies which I cannot name because if I do, then you'll know the ending and it'll be a spoiler. Again, this movie does not have typical jump scare throughout the film, but this movie deals with real human emotions like stress, depression, loneliness with ghostly elements to it, and that is what I loved about the film. Expressing these emotions into a ghostly manner is a very rare thing to see in a horror film. The acting is spot on, the star cast is spot on, and another unique thing about this film is the old horror elements like flashlight turning on and off, footsteps in the dark, which is not seen in a lot of films these days, is used very effectively. This movie is also streaming on Amazon Prime. Number 3, #Alive. #Alive is a Korean zombie movie. So all you zombie horror lovers there, this movie is made for you. And this is not your typical zombie film. I'll tell you why. Because in this film, the zombies are different first of all. They are intelligent, they run very fast, they can climb buildings. So it's a very different kind of, zombie film. And in this movie, the protagonist is stuck in his home while this zombie outbreak happens. And he has limited food, he has no weapons, and his technical skills is that he is a gamer. That's all. Now, how does he survive this zombie outbreak? That is what forms the crux of the film. Later on in the film, you understand that he feels that he is the only survivor. Then he finds out, okay, he's not the only survivor. So he finds a girl who's also surviving. She stays right opposite his building. These are apartments where they're staying on the 13th or the 14th floor. So this is basically a zombie survival movie, which is kind of rare these days because otherwise zombie films are all about, running from one place to another because of the zombie outbreak. Here, you're stuck in your home, and the kind of situation right now we are in where we are stuck in our homes. The only part where I felt it was a cliche was the introduction of a supporting character who you think is a good guy, but it's kind of obvious that he's not. Apart from that, I think it's a very good zombie film. Another thing, don't compare this film with Train to Busan, because that is a next level zombie film. So very different from Train to Busan. This has a lot of comic element to it apart from the zombie survival genre. So yeah, enjoy this film. This is streaming on Netflix. Number 4, In the Tall Grass. In the Tall Grass is a 2019 movie which is based on Stephen King's novel by the same name. This movie starts with Becky and Cal, who are siblings, and they are driving on a highway. Becky is a pregnant woman and she feels uneasy, so she tells Cal to stop the car. The place where Cal stops the car, one side there is a church with nothing else inside, and on the opposite side is an endless field of tall grass. When Becky's puking, she hears a small boy calling out for help inside the grass. Naturally, she tells Cal to help him out, so they enter the grass, and that is when things start becoming strange. Within minutes, Becky and Cal realize that the boy is not as close as it seems. Becky realizes something is off, so she tells Cal to come out, but it's too late because they get separated, and then they are trying to find each other out. This forms the crux of the film. The first 20 minutes are the best 20 minutes because as a viewer you are intrigued because the sound that they used is amazing. So if you're watching this movie and if you have a surround sound or a good pair of headphones, it's gonna be interesting. There's a scene when Cal is calling out for Becky. Once she hears that Cal is calling from the right hand side, and the other moment he's on the left hand side. So as a viewer you are confused, where exactly is Cal? So the reason why this is a horror flick and not a thriller is because there are some creepy scenes, a couple of jump scares, which makes you feel, okay, this is not a thriller, this is a out and out horror film. Can't tell you anything more because then it'll be a spoiler. This movie is streaming on Netflix. Number 5, Pet Sematary, which is a remake of the film by the same name, which came in 1989. Again, this is based on Stephen King's novel. It starts with Creed family, husband Louis, wife Rachel, their 2 kids, and their beloved cat Church move to a new home, which is a rustic home in a rural town. As the movie goes forward, their beloved cat Church dies in an accident. Louis doesn't know how he's going to tell this to their kids. That is when their next door neighbor offers a different solution. Judd tells Louis to bury Church not in the pet cemetery, but further in the woods. What happens is Church comes back, but there is a big difference. Church is not the same. He smells awful, he's become very cranky, and he's become very spooky. That is when Judd tells Louis that when you bury anything in those woods, they come back, but they're not the same. Another tragedy occurs. This is when Louis thinks what happens with Church will hopefully not happen with the other person. But considering it's a horror movie, things don't become better, they become worst. This movie is streaming on Amazon Prime. If you're still watching this video, here is your bonus. Another movie, this is my favorite horror movie till date. Movie is called 1408. 1408 is a 2007 movie which is streaming on Amazon Prime. It stars John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson. John Cusack plays a man who specializes in debunking paranormal occurrences. He goes to the hotels or places which are supposed to be paranormal, and he records all the occurrences until he reaches Hotel Dolphin in New York. He meets the manager, which is played by Samuel L. Jackson, who warns him against living in that room because people who've stayed in that room haven't returned back. There are a lot of creepy moments, a lot of scary moments in the film. And it's not only a horror, it's a psychological horror. So that is why this is my favorite film. If you found this video useful, kindly give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and want to upgrade your lifestyle, make sure to hit the subscribe button along with the bell icon and become buddies. In the next video, I am going to tell you 5 horror shows that you need to see for Halloween 2020. Until then, this is your lifestyle buddy Pratik Chitre signing off. Stay fit, stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy the bloopers. Louis. This is when Louis feels, okay, from the grass. Later on, they realize that The tall grass is strange. Okay, rolling. So the movie lags a little in the middle, but it makes up for it by the super ending. Super ending with both. This movie is also premiering on Amazon Prime. Premiering. This movie is also streaming on Amazon Prime. Pack up.